I asked a poll recently on YouTube about the hardest part of being a solo dev, and the biggest answer was motivation and burnout.
That hurt.
That honestly doesn't surprise me because I think most solo devs don't stop because they suddenly hate their game. They stop because the project starts feeling heavy. You open Unreal, you look at everything that needs to be done, and even if you care about the game, your brain just goes, I don't even know where to start. And that's the part people don't talk about enough. Motivation isn't always the problem. Sometimes the problem is that the task in front of you is too vague, too big, too mentally expensive to even begin, especially working a full-time job and having a good work-life balance. So in this video, I want to talk about what I've been doing to keep myself moving without burning myself out. Because if your whole life becomes work, school, game dev, sleep, repeat, eventually everything you love starts to feel like pressure. First thing that helps me is what I call the 20-minute rule. When I don't feel like working on my game, I don't try to convince myself to do some massive 3-hour dev session. That usually just makes me avoid it more, because now the task feels even bigger. Instead, I tell myself, I only have to work 20 minutes. That's it. I open the project, pick one small thing, start a timer, and work for 20 minutes. The reason this works is because most of the resistance is at the beginning. A lot of the time, I'm not actually too tired to work on the game. I'm too overwhelmed to decide what working on the game even means today. There's a big difference between I need to finish the whole combat system and I'm going to spend 20 minutes fixing this one animation issue. Once I'm already in the project, I usually keep going longer anyways, but if I don't, 20 minutes still counts. You can fix a small bug in 20 minutes, you can clean up a blueprint, you can test one mechanic, you can place a few props, you can make one tiny piece of the game better than it was yesterday. And I think that matters way more than people realize. A game isn't built from one giant burst of motivation. It's built from a bunch of small sessions that stack up over time. So if you're stuck, don't ask yourself, how do I finish this whole thing? What can I do for 20 minutes? That question is way easier to answer. That leads me into the next part where I talk about how you don't even need to open your project to be productive. The next thing I'm going to go into is setting up a to-do list for the next day before you stop working. Not a huge list, not some perfect production plan, just enough to when I open the project tomorrow, I already know what I'm doing. Because one of the easiest ways to lose momentum is to start the day by making decisions. You open the project and suddenly you're asking, should I work on combat? Should I fix the boss? Should I make this level look better? Should I redo the UI? Should I work on a video? And now you're not making the game anymore, you're just sitting there spinning. So I try to leave myself a clear next step. Something simple enough to where I could start without needing to replan the entire project. The other part of this is making sure the tasks are actually small. Make bow combat is not really a task, that's a whole feature. And features are made of a bunch of tiny steps. So instead of writing make a bow work in the game, I'd rather write something like get the bow ability activating, spawn the arrow mesh, attach the arrow to the hand, play the draw animation, hide the held arrow when firing, etc. That's way less overwhelming because now I'm not trying to mentally carry the whole feature at once, I'm just doing the next piece in the task. I think this is one of the biggest things that separates progress from burnout. A lot of time, the thing you're avoiding isn't actually one task, it's 20 tasks pretending to be one task. So your brain looks at it and shuts down because it knows there's a bunch of unknowns problems hiding inside of it. Breaking it down makes the work visible, and once that work is visible, it becomes way easier to start. You know when you spend hours on one bug, you're running your brain in circles on the issue, they keep compiling and putting things, now all those things are broken, but you can't stop working on the thing, and that causes you to spiral because you feel like you can't take a break. If I can't fix this bug, I'm not even a good developer. And then you lose your progress, and you mentally spiraling makes everything worse. Your brain genuinely stops helping you at a certain point. When you stay stuck on the same problem for too long, especially when you're frustrated, you can stop thinking clearly and start operating off stress. You get tunnel vision, you rush, you make random changes, and suddenly you're not solving the bug anymore, you're just reacting to it. Taking a break gives your brain a chance to reset, so you come back with actual perspective instead of panic. That's why stepping away helps so much. It's not being lazy or giving up, it's just giving your brain enough space to calm down so you can think like a developer again instead of a stressed out goblin clicking everything, hoping that something works. No. Stop what you're doing, go outside, I'm not joking. It's crazy what happens just by taking a 10-minute walk around the neighborhood. Hang out with your pets, your partner, whatever, just do not look at your project for about 15 to 30 minutes. Do anything but that. Don't think about it, don't ponder while you're walking your dog. Be as present as you possibly can. Then once that time is up, feel free to hop back in and give it a shot. When you come back to the desk, a lot of the time, the bug looks completely different. Not because the bug magically changed, but because you changed. Your brain isn't in fight or flight mode anymore. You're not just clicking random nodes, changing values, recompiling, breaking another thing, and panicking because the original bug has 5 new friends. You come back with more working memory, more patience, and more pattern recognition. Suddenly, you'll be noticing the thing you missed for 2 hours. Or realize, wait, why did I even touch that system? Breaks let your brain process the problem in the background without brute forcing it. So when you sit back down, you're not returning as the same stressed out version of yourself. You're coming back with a clear mind. That is what actually lets you fix it. The last part I want to talk about is work-life balance. If you're working, you're going to school, dealing with life, and trying to make a game on top of that, you can't treat every free hour like it has to be productive. And I think this is important if you want to actually finish a long-term project. You need to protect your relationship with the game. You can care about it, you can take it seriously, you can work hard, but you also need to have a life outside of it because that's what keeps you from burning out completely. So if I had to summarize everything, it would be this. Don't make motivation the requirement for starting. Make starting easier. Create less friction. Use the 20-minute rule when you don't feel like working. Write down tomorrow's task so you don't open the project lost. Break big features into small pieces so your brain actually knows what to do. And then when you're frustrated, step away before you turn the project into something you resent. You don't need to finish the whole game today. You don't need to solve every system tonight. You just need to do the next small thing. And if all you could do is 20 minutes, that still counts. That is still progress. And sometimes that's the difference between a project that slowly dies in your head and a project that actually gets finished. I also did create a Trello template. It's completely free. You can use it for creating your next to-do list. Feel free to check it out. Thanks for watching.